Hello, I'm Chris LaFont, and this is Movie Time with Chris, the channel devoted specifically to movies, movie trailer reactions, movie reviews, movie birthdays, with a few other special videos along the way. If it sounds like something you like, subscribe to this channel. Today, we're going to be doing a movie review for Gotti. Let's get started.
Hi everyone. For those of you that may have never seen that classic, that was me trying to be the Godfather in the opening scene of the movie, where Bonacera comes to see him and asks for the favor, and the Don is there holding a cat. I figure no better way to start out a video about the Don, the Teflon Don, the one name that everyone knows and associates with the mafia, John Gotti. Let me tell you about this movie. Oh, forewarned, this video will have spoilers. So, if you don't want to know what happens, back out now. Chances are, if you've seen the movie, you know the story of John Gotti. But hey, back out now if you want. And there's your chance. I felt the movie was too short. I've seen Netflix specials about John Gotti that were probably longer than this movie. That was one thing I didn't like about it. Second thing I did not like about the movie would be the fact that right at the beginning of the film, the start, you show John Travolta as Gotti. And then during the opening credit sequence, you're showing actual footage of John Gotti. I don't agree with this move. I would say, show the footage, but have John Travolta acting it out, doing the same things that John did. And save those real life footages for the end. Let people adjust to Travolta playing this role. Again, I just got back from the theater. I'm 36 years old, and I was probably the youngest person in that theater. But I grew up in New York. I grew up on Long Island. One of my oldest friends, his name is Larry Gotti. We used to tease him all the time about John Gotti. So it's a figure that I know. That's why I was there. Everyone else was probably knows it because they were there. They lived it. They saw the news. But let the audience adapt to Travolta as Gotti. Because now it's like you're showing the real John. And you can't... Travolta says it at the end of the movie. You're never going to see another guy like me. You can't... when you see John... Again, sorry, when I'm saying John, I mean Gotti, not Travolta. But when you see him, he's just charismatic. Just watching footage of him walking out of a courtroom, he draws you in. So, not to say that John Travolta doesn't have that, but there's no other John Gotti. So to see Travolta and then live footage of Gotti and then Travolta and then real life pictures of Gotti, and it was just it was too much, you know? Not to call America stupid, but play like America is stupid. Some people may not know who John Gotti is, may have never heard of him. They may just watch this movie because, hey, they like John Travolta. And they might get confused. Keep it consistent, just have him. Leave the live footage and live pictures to the end. Those are my two complaints. That one and the length. Otherwise, it was enjoyable, you know? Sat there, figure with previews, little over 2 hours. Didn't feel like it at all. Those are good movies. Honestly, I think that might have only happened one other time for me, and that was with The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. The movie's over 3 hours long, and when I saw it, I felt like I was sitting there for like an hour. So this one just kind of flew by. But I think what also gave it that sense of just flying by was that they really jumped through it. Boom, 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 boom. You know, when he was first starting out and his first hit, and then he became a made man, and then it just flies through the 80s and the 90s, and it's just, you know, right up to 2009. I've said in previous videos, I like the movies that are real time. 12 Angry Men, great example. Movie really starts with the jurors getting into the jury room, and it ends with them leaving the jury room. That whole time they're in there, it's real time. This one took place over the span of, let's see, almost 40 years, 35 years. So, like, my lifespan, that's like watching my life, my entire life, up till now, in under 2 hours. It's a lot to take in. You leave a lot out. But, you know, I know that the movie had his son, John Jr., and his daughter, Victoria. They were there on set. So I'm sure that they made sure that, you know, major points were hit in the movie. But, you know, watching the movie, it's based on his life. The only one that would really have a good memory of these things would have been John Jr. He was the oldest. The others were just little kids. And even then, you know, they show he went away to military school. So he wasn't there. Who was there to really see the impact that John had on the family? The mob life, I should say. So, I mean, obviously when his son comes back, it's a little different. His son gets involved in the life. His son then becomes a made man. So, obviously, he's going to have greater knowledge. But there's a few time periods where it's like, I felt like they were rushing through the years. And that could have been just, you know, they didn't have more of a story there. They do the main points, you know. He had a son that died. That scene kind of flew by. Even the retribution for that, it was like under the rug, moving on. So it did feel a little rushed, but still enjoyable movie. You know, I think a good movie is the kind of thing that if you watch it, you want to do it. You know? Don't get me wrong. I love some movies. The Avenger movies, they're great. But I'm not going to go out and start fighting crime because, well, look at me. But, you know, if I see a Western, especially in the theater, when you see a Western in the theater, oh my God. But I'm not going to leave the theater and run out and buy a cowboy hat and get on a horse. Never had that thought. But there are some movies that when you watch it, you're like, nice. This is one of them. You know that I love heist movies. I can talk about robbing a bank all day. I'm never actually going to do it. I wouldn't even dream of it. But this movie did that. You saw this movie, you saw the life that he led. It was violent. The Gambinos were a violent family, but you know, he saw it like Tony Montana. He knew what was coming to him. The world, Chico, and everything in it. That's what he saw. He saw the world was his. His legacy was going to go on forever, and people were going to do things his way. Luna, Daddy's working. My pit bull opened the door. But you know, it's like he started with nothing and he built this empire, so to speak. I mean, they had a show not that long ago, Growing Up Gotti, with his daughter and her sons. And, you know, people still know the Gotti name. I'm sure that's not the legacy he wanted, because a lot of times they associate that with the mob. But he didn't see the mob as a bad thing. You know, the mob life took him in, gave him what he needed, helped him provide for his family. So, to him, there was no other way of life. So if you don't know any better, but this movie, you watch it and you're like, I want to go out there. I want to take on the world. I want to leave a legacy that's going to last 100 years, 1,000 years, whatever. I want to be remembered through the ages. That's what this movie did. I wouldn't say it was a great movie. I wouldn't say it was a horrible movie. But it's definitely a movie worth checking out. Especially if you're going to watch things like Scarface, Goodfellas, Donnie Brasco, The Godfather. You want to watch these movies about the life? This guy was the life. Charismatic, all over, in the news, on paper, you know, in magazines. And, you know, Teflon Don. Nothing stuck to him. Eventually they got him. On a he said, she said, so to speak. But that ended up costing him 5 consecutive life sentences. And he died in prison from cancer. But, hey. Back to this. Check out the movie. You know, if you like mob movies, something like Goodfellas, that does take you, you know, from like their young life and on, then you're going to enjoy this. You know, even The Godfather, I mean, between Godfather and Godfather 2, actually not even, just in The Godfather, you know, it jumps. So, apparently that's what this life is. But the movie's enjoyable. It's almost 2 hours long. Doesn't feel like it. John Travolta did a great job. You know, he does such a good job when he's tasked with playing these people. You know, say what you want about Primary Colors. I drew a blank there. Primary Colors is a great movie. And yes, he's not playing Bill Clinton, but he's playing Bill Clinton. And he did great. This movie, he was actually asked by the Gotti family to play this role. That's got to be an honor. And he did not disappoint. So check this movie out. You're going to like it. Now, if you've seen it, if you know the Gotti story, if you plan on watching it, if you just want to talk about this video, comment in the comment section below. You guys can find me on Instagram at Movie Time with Chris. Just me telling you what videos I have out, stuff that I'm working on, stuff like that. If you have any questions, a video you want to see, a topic you want to hear about, anything at all like that, go ahead and email me, movietimewithchris@gmail.com. I'm going to check that email multiple times a day. Your message will not be missed. And you never know, your question, your video request, the topic you want to hear about, it may just pop up in a future video. So go ahead and email me. You have nothing to lose. Speaking of nothing to lose, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, because it doesn't cost you anything. And while you're in that general vicinity, and if you enjoyed this video or videos like this, go ahead and subscribe. It's not going to cost you anything. Help me help you. Help me help you. For those of you that don't know, that was Jerry Maguire there. A lot of movie references. I speak fluent movie quotes. But, go ahead. Hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel. Share the video with your friends. They're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to laugh at me together. It's going to be a good time. And I guess that's it. So, till next time, take care.